Hi, it's Friday night. Whoo, love my Fridays. Day 16 of October and day 290 of my journey to business alignment. I'm living the dream and it is quite the adventure, I'll tell you what. There's always surprises and exciting things that come out of the blue at you, and that's what it's all about, and that's what makes it fun. And it's at times a little bit trying, but that's okay. My power statement I wrote down for today said I will focus on getting a web developer to do the problem tasks and get those done, and then I'll contact Ontraport to start the process of getting the membership system up, the forms on all the pages, and the email marketing set up for when I do my campaigns, so everything's working properly. So here's my to-do list for I had today, Friday. Got those three top ones done, all highlighted. Bam, done. My number one most important task for today was to clean out as many of the emails that I'd saved in all my files out of my tnbd.org files and possibly get that thing working again because it's been down a few days. It's so frustrating. My fun task for today was to follow up with the new web dev guy that I decided to go with, and he said he'd start working on the problems today, and so that's great. And my exciting task today was to once again try to contact Appointlet about my calendar and appointment setting process since I ran into printer problems yesterday. I wasn't able to get that done. Because I have the new guy starting on these three tasks, I'm feeling we're getting really close to the point where I can reach out to Ontraport, and it's going to be great. Now, my end of the day success routine says, get honest with yourself, Marty. What's the one thing that didn't go well today? What could you have done better? Well, did you wake up early and start strong? I did. Did you start your morning with power? Start my morning, win the day, win the morning, win the day routine, cold water splash, make my bed, win the morning, win the day reading, all those things. Starts my day strong. It's just a fantastic habit. Were you productive throughout your day? Absolutely. Did you get the most important things done and through the portal of my mind to the world of the physical? Yes, those goals moving forward, piece by piece by piece by piece. It's almost like a march. Did you show up as the person you wanted to today? Yes, I showed up the person how I wanted to be and what would serve me the best and serve the goals that I have best and serve Kathleen best. Great day. In summary, I asked myself, were you honest with yourself about today's task, Marty? Did you keep your promises that you made to yourself this morning? Well, I promised myself that I would do some more tasks on my master task list, and while I was waiting for the new guy to do the work and get those three tasks done, and I promised I would make sure that there wasn't anything for Fahad to do right now until those three problems are done, and when we call Ontraport. And that's what I did. So bam, done. The next question is, what movies did you watch during your mindfulness time today, Marty? Did you watch your normal must-see TV favorite 5 movies and any two amigos putting on the screen of your mind, any instant pre-play clips? Well, I watched my must-see TV favorite 5 movies, and then I watched my win the morning, win the day routine process in my mind and preparing for going upstairs to my office. And I went upstairs and started doing more of my email deletes and management of the files and cleaning those up. Oh, so tedious. And my master to-do list task. Before I knew it, the day was over, and I still had a lot to do with regard to my email cleanup project, and I was able to get a lot of that done, but I also had my financial plan that I was able to get a little bit more done on that, trying to get that done so I can go over it and review it with my wife. So both of these tasks will be carried over to tomorrow, which is Saturday, and hopefully I'll get them done, but if not, I'll get on to them Monday and get them finished. My next question says, what's the one thing that would make all the difference going forward? Another way to say it is, what's the one thing you'd want to get done tomorrow? Even if the day went sideways on you getting it done, you'd still let you feel like you were a success. What would that one thing be? Well, the one thing I can do going forward is to focus on getting my emails all backed up and cleaned out and the files all arranged right, and to finish my financial plan. That's what I'm focused on. Got to get those done and behind me. This is important while the new web guide works on getting the 3 problem features completed. And then when he does, I can call Ontraport, and Fahad and I can move forward with that big task and get the website ready to go and launch and go live. I can start my coaching focus group and then get on to coaching as soon as possible. It's so exciting. So I'm making my power statement for tomorrow. I'll say I will focus on my email fix and my financial plan and get those completed while my new web developer finishes the problem task. Once he's done and I finish my 2 major tasks, I'll contact Ontraport to start the process of getting the membership system up and going, the forms working, and the email marketing all set up for those campaigns. Next is, were there any mistakes or failures that I had today that I can turn into a tool of success? Well, for a Friday, I think it was pretty great that there wasn't any blow-ups in my face going into the weekend. No failure today. The day went pretty well. So the next question is, what's your biggest success today, Marty? What did you do well today? Well, my biggest success today was finding this new web guy and going with him, and it's turning out to be pretty cool. He's an expert in WordPress. And so he appears to know what he's doing, and I'm hoping he will, and I'm hoping he get these things done in the time frame he said he would. The next step in my end of the day success routine is to rate today and how my effort was. And so I gave today another 8. I gave it an 8 because I worked at the speed of 8 today, and that's because of the 2 projects I'm working to get done. They've slowed me down a little bit. Going through hundreds and hundreds of emails has really taken up a lot of time, and it is quite tedious work, like I said last night. The financial plan process has also taken a lot more time doing research on all our accounts and looking at numbers and doing an Excel spreadsheet. Oh my goodness. So that we're prepared to do it right for the next 3 months, those last 3 months of the year. I'll get it done, sweetheart. Okay, I want to end the day strong. Here's what I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for the principle that says the force that shapes our opinions, the force that shapes our opinions and habits is the same force that shapes all our actions. Oh man, the fact is it is up to you and up to me to take control of this force that shapes our thoughts, our feelings, and then our actions, and therefore our behavior. And to do so, we can't just let ourselves be ruled unconsciously. We must take action and choose our thoughts consciously. And if we don't direct our own thoughts in that way, we'll fall under the influence of those influencers that would condition us to behave in the way that they desire us to do and not how we would desire for ourselves. So we've got to take charge. Like I have always said, if we want to take control of our lives and of our thoughts, we must learn to advertise in our own minds. In other words, advertising is so powerful. We need to advertise in our own minds and remap our thoughts. And we can do this in a billionth of a volt through a decision to do it. Again, the how is simple. We simply link pain to the behaviors we want to stop at such a high level of emotional intensity that we won't even consider those behaviors any longer. For example, ask yourself, aren't there things you would never ever do? Of course there are. Okay, good. Now, think of the sensations, those feelings that you've linked to those things that you'd never do. If you link those same feelings and sensations to the behaviors you want to avoid, you'll never do them again, or at least you'll be made to really consider them before you do them. It'll slow that process down and give you some response time. Now simply link pleasure to the new behavior you desire for yourself. And then through repeating this over and over with emotional intensity, this way of thinking and linking, you can condition, or what I call remap, these behaviors within your mind until they become automatic. That's what we're about. That's what's happening. That's it, period. These principles lead to the next thing I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the law of awareness, which says the first step to creating a lasting change, which is what I just went through, is to become aware of the power that pain and pleasure exert over every decision you make, and therefore every action we take. Awareness, being quick to observe and aware and be compassionate about yourself, be confident in yourself, and consider what you're doing and be aware. The art of being aware is understanding these linkages between ideas, words, images, sounds, and sensations or feelings of pain and pleasure, being aware about them, and are happening constantly through each and every day of our lives. Next, I'm grateful for Michael de Montaigne, it's Montaigne, Montaigne, who said, I conceive that pleasures are to be avoided if greater pains be the consequence, and pains to be coveted that will terminate in greater pleasures. Just another way of saying, recognize what pain will do and what pleasure will do. Link pain to the things we don't want to do, to pleasures to the things we do want to do. The one flaw in this law, however, and the principles that undergird it, is the fact that we're humans, and we humans think in short terms. Most of us base our decisions about what we should and or want to do on what's going to create pain and pleasure. In the short term, though, instead of the long term. That's the problem. Yet success comes from us breaking through the wall of short-term pain in order to have long-term pleasure. Our values, our personal standards matter. We have to keep in mind again that it is not actual pain that drives us, but our fear that something will lead to pain that drives us. The same goes for pleasure. We're not driven by the reality, but by our perception of reality. What we make it mean, in other words. The simple bottom line is that anything you or I want that's valuable requires that we break through some form of short-term pain in order to gain long-term pleasure. Period. If you want a sculpted body, you've got to sculpt that body, and that requires breaking through short-term pain. There's got to be some work involved. Once you break through the short-term pain of working out enough times, it becomes pleasure to you, especially if you've repeated your thoughts of that over and over again, that it's pleasure. That over and over remapping locks it in. Ask yourself this question: why haven't I taken action and started a business of my own yet? What pain have I linked to taking this action so that it's stopping me from going forward with it? Let me save you some pain in trying to answer that question. You have held back from making that decision to start your own business because you've associated greater pain or fear, etc., to taking that action, to not taking action. Period. I'm telling you that you can change your thinking through a billionth of vote and link pleasure to it, and you'll feel easier about starting that business. That's why the dream's so important. That's why the why is so important. So there you go. The first step to success, like I teach on Podcast 1, the first step to success is to get honest with yourself. Think more deeply as you get honest. And maybe you will see that the pain may be a smaller kind of pain than you think, such as the pain that it is going to take time out of your busy schedule, so you hold off on doing it. That's a small pain, but that may be the very thing that's stopping you. You can link pleasure to those kind of pains, to your pains, and you can start today, right now. Do it. Finish tonight by writing down on a piece of paper all the pleasure you'll enjoy by taking action now, and decide to start your business now, no matter what, and you'll have that pleasure. Bam, done. Oh man, I think that's a great thought to go to sleep on, don't you? And so until we meet again tomorrow night, I'll be right back here at my laptop, sharing my heart, sharing my feelings, recording my daily video entry. Until then, I wish you continued success. Good night.